Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This is the new episode of web development, and today we're going to make the sign up page actually submit to the database and filter all the data. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I have opened up here Sublime, first with the code, with what I found from last time, and the page, and also the phpMyAdmin, and with the jump control panel, I started the Apache server and the MySQL server. Okay, so now let's get started with the first thing that we have to do, and that is create a new database. And this is going to be called test site. And we're going to create it, and we're going to create a table in here called users with 4 columns, and it's going to have the first one ID, which is going to be the primary key, and it's going to have auto increment. The second one will be username, which is going to be a string of 255 characters, and it's going to be marked as unique. The third one is email, which is going to be also a string, and it's also going to be unique. Now this is going to be basically, these uniques are just going to be so that we can better filter in case the code inside that we write is going to fail. So, and the last one is going to be password, which is going to store the hash of the password also as a string. So let's save this table and go here. And now what we're going to do is open up here, and we're going to start filtering the data and everything. So first things first, we're going to go if is set, and we're going to go here and just check in the post array if it's set, and we got here the the mail address. We're going to go and set email to the value inside there. And if is set password, we're going to go post password. Now also what I wanted to do is add a password confirm in here. We're going to go password confirm. Okay, and also this is type email, so this is going to automatically just match it with an email, and they're all marked as required, and we got their names here. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in the password confirm into its variable, so we don't have to always access into these into the array. Now the main reason was because I want to filter these, but first let's connect to the database. So we can call this functions.php, and this is going to be a new PHP file. And here we're going to go function connect to DB, which is going to go and return and just create our database connection. So MySQLi equals with new MySQLi to localhost. And now the username and password that you connect to the database to, and the name of the database, and then return. And now we're going to have function disconnect. It's going to take this, and we're going to go, and it's going to say I'm gonna remember that. Okay, so now it's gonna be my SQLI close. Okay, and we're gonna put these with double quotes, just like that. I mean, it's the same kind of thing, string, but I prefer doing it by the book. Okay, next, we filtered these, and now what we need to do is require that file, so it's gonna fail without it. Okay, and this goes into single quotes. Okay, now once we filtered these, we're gonna want to check if the password is correct. It's valid. So, you know what? This is gonna be used just for the creation, so I guess we could put it here. So, function check pass, which is gonna take a string in, and we're gonna go ahead and do the following thing. So we're going to create a variable called digits, one lower, one upper, and one special. And basically what these mean is if it has digits, if it has lowercase, and if it has uppercase, and if it has the special characters. And now what we need to do is declare those and tell it which ones are digits, which ones are lower, upper, and special. So first we're going to start with digit. So this string will contain all the digits. Now then we're going to have lowers, which are going to be, I'm going to press every key on my keyboard. Now we could do these with a regex, but that would mean me explaining the regex, and I don't think that many of you know it. So I'm not going to work with it because I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible so that everybody, even the ones that are starting right now to code, because as you might have seen in the first episode you used PHP, I actually explained the statements and how they work, so I'm going to try to keep this algorithm as basic as possible so that everybody can understand. So I'm going to make a string called specials, and this will contain all the special characters that are allowed to be used in the password creation process. And these should be enough. Okay, so once we did these, we're going to try to go and go in the string, character by character, and try to check for all of these things. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and go make a for, and this is not going to be for each because we can't do treat this as an array. Now the function strlen stands for string length, and as you might guess, this function returns the length of the string in characters. So we're going to use that to go into this string character by character, and we're going to take into this variable, and we're going to store the character that's on position I, and remember it starts indexing at 0, so that means password of 0 would be the first character you input in the password field, then of 1 would be the second, and so on and so forth until string length minus 1. That's going to be the last character in the string. So we're going to take the character. Now if what was that function called? str, I think pos, string pos. string position, and we're going to go into the digit. And if you find the character in the digit, and if the position, it's not false, because if it isn't there, it's gonna return false, then we're gonna make digits true. Else if string position of lower and character, then lower true. Else if string position of uppers, lowers, and of the character, it's not false, then upper is true. Else if string position of specials and the character, it's not false, then we're gonna want to do special true. Okay, and else return false. Okay, so if it finds a character that isn't in any of these, then it's gonna break the function because it has invalid characters. Else is gonna go, and if it finds one, it sets this value to true, and if it doesn't find each and one of them, at the end of the for, one is gonna stay false. So then at the end we want to return, and it's gonna be digits and lower and upper and special. Perfect. And now one thing I want to do is test a bit the connection and see if it works, just for a second. Now we're going to delete the code. After this, I just want to see if this works properly. Oh yeah, and if length of password, then return false. Return false. And if it's not greater than 5. Okay, so now I want to test a bit the connection, so we're going to do connect to DB. My SQLI. Connect to DB. Now I'm going to go my SQLI query, and in here we're going to go insert into users username, email, password. I want to see if there's something to fix, or if we can go on confident that it's going to work all these functions. So we're going to go values. I'm going to put some random things. Oh, come on. Okay. Now disconnect. Do a few arguments to sorry, of my SQLI. And yes, it worked. Okay, so now that I'm confident in this working perfectly, we can continue our code normally. Just ignore what I did. Now we have this function check password that's going to check our password. So if it's not a good password, it's not going to be okay. Now first, if password is different from pass confirm, then it's bad. Okay, if they're different, then that's no good. And we're gonna define here no. What I'm gonna do, if it's different, then session message, the one that we defined, it's gonna be the passwords do not match. Else, now this is going to be an ugly code. It's going to have some nested ifs, which are ugly, but that's what we have to do. So firstly, we're going to go if not check pass of password, then session message, the password is not good. Now if you want, you can just go and write a bit more code and just personalize in case something does not match. If this doesn't match, return a certain message. If this doesn't match, what needs to be changed. You can just do that, but it's going to be a bit longer code, and I want to be as simple and as rudimentary as possible. So once we check for the password, if it's good, continue on with the code. Now this is an ugly code, I know, but I want to keep it as rudimentary as possible. Now a function, if I didn't explain last time, basically is a piece of code that you can write and reuse, and whenever you call it, like here, you can give it parameters, which are basically, you can just tell this code variables, and it's going to do something without affecting the outer code. And if it wants, you can return something. It's just like saying, and if it doesn't return anything, just you cut this. It's like a void. It's called a void. And what this is just like telling somebody, please sort these toothbrushes based by color and put them in separate bins. Once you're done, you're done. That's a void function. A function, basically, let's say function add, and it gets two parameters, n1 and n2, and it's gonna return n1 plus n2. Now this is just like telling somebody, perform me an addition. I want you to use the numbers, and here you just give him the two parameters of the function. You're just saying n1 and n2, and you're just saying echo add of 1 2 and echo add 2 3. So basically what this function does is saying somebody, let's say you call somebody and tell him, do this for me with these two numbers, and I want you to tell me the answer. So this is basically what this returns, an integer. So basically when I'm calling this function, is like calling somebody and telling him, perform me the add function, and now I'm gonna tell you the parameters are 1 and 2, and he's gonna reply with 3. And when I'm calling him again and telling him perform addition, so just this person is, let's say this function, I'm telling him 2 and 3, these are the parameters you're gonna get, and he's gonna say 5. So basically it's just like telling somebody to do something, and he can either give a reply back or he could not, but he's going to do it. Depending on the parameter, and you can give no parameters as well, just like in our connect to database function, which does not get any parameters and just does it. It's like saying, hey, you do it. And each person, let's say, has a well-defined action he has to do. You don't have to tell him what to do. He's just going to do it. And he's going to do it with the parameters you give him. And he's going to reply back or not, depending on what you want and what action it is. So getting back to our thing, for instance, this function is like saying to somebody, check me this password format, and you're calling the password checker and you're telling him test 1 2 3, and what he's going to say is either true or false. Okay, getting back to our things. And once he goes to return, he's not going to do anything else. He just gave you the answer. He's not going to continue the rest of the code. Something to keep in mind. This is going to break the rest of the code. It's not going to execute anymore. Okay, getting back to our things and doing this. Else, the password is good. So what we're going to do is encrypt it with the MD5 hash. So a hash is basically a thing that you can encrypt in, but you cannot decrypt. To be very explicit. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if two hashes are equal, it's almost certain that the two strings that were hashed are the same. Now, if you want to be very, very precise and you want to have like 100% chance of success, not 99%, then you would use two types of hashes. This is an MD5 type of hash. You could use another type of hash. Nobody will judge you. And for instance, if you want to be 100% sure, you would use firstly encrypt it in MD5 and then encrypt it as well in something else, and then put them both. And when you log in, what you want to do is just basically, you're not going to try to decrypt this. You're going to encrypt what he said, the user input in the login page. And if the two hashes match, because as I said, the same hash is basically an algorithm that converts to string, encrypts it. And if those two match, the hashes, that means that most likely the strings were equal. And if you want to use two hashes, you're going to be 100% sure that everything's all right. And I don't think there's much else to say about this. And what we're doing is basically, this is all without having you to go through all the hassle. This is the most secure version of, this is the most secure way you can do it in PHP. Basically, I mean, there are most likely some more advanced modes, but usually you want to use a framework, not just straight PHP. And if you want to do it in straight PHP, you basically want to do this. You're going to just encrypt it firstly and then send it to the database. That's the most secure way to do it. But generally, you're going to use a framework, so you're not going to really care about writing all this stuff. But this is a good starting point for everybody. That's why I'm not even just trying now. That's why I'm not even trying to just go through SQL injection filtering. So basically, writing SQL queries into these input boxes and just basically doing bad stuff with a website. Just that's called SQL injection, and that there is a way to filter it with a function here, but I firstly have to connect to the database and just initiate this SQLi object. Anyway, going back to our things, now what do I have to check for is to have no emails or password or usernames that repeat, because I don't want to just push it in and hope, it's, yeah, if I put the unique keys into the database, it should be all right. No, we're going to just try to filter it first, and then that's like the ultimate failsafe. So what we're going to do is go and run a query. So result, now, we have to, so we're going to go connect to DB. to connect to the database, and then result equals to MySQLi query, and in here we're going to put double quotes and say select all users where, or let's say ID, where username equals to username and or email equals to email. And now if result rows greater than 0, then say session message equals to choose another username or email. Else MySQLi query insert into users username, email, password, values, I think these are without these commas. These quotes, sorry. Values, and now we're going to go username, password. So let's try to run this. Unexpected semicolon line 55. Oh. Undefined variable uppers in line 22. You have two upper empty needle on line 17. So this, we can try just to explode it into an array. Very simple. So we're going to go array equals with explode password. Okay. And for the other error, okay. So now, if I go empty delimiter, okay, that's a warning. Now basically we convert this into an array, but it gives us a warning. Now I'm curious if it worked and actually submitted. No. Did it throw the password is not good? Oh, okay. That means we have an error still here. Or let's use, oh yeah, string split, I think it was, and it has just this parameter. And it should work. Password is not good. Password is not good. Where does it fail? We're gonna go echo true. I'm gonna copy this line. I'm gonna paste it. True. True 2. And 3. True 1, true, else, echo false. It has no false in there, so that means, wait a second. Offset line 18, and I want to echo I as well. 9. So the password I input in was test123 and A. So that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I know what happened. It's I is smaller than the length of the string. Because if this is not null, not just 0, then it's going to be always true. Yet it did not. Okay, so let me just get rid of that. Now, why didn't it input? Well, does it get here? Yeah. Then is this wrong? Let me put some. So I'm gonna copy this line, and yet now I'm gonna go change the values in here. Oh, I think I don't close the bracket. Okay, that's true. Nope. So I'm gonna copy that. And in here, we're gonna just put in the values, which are gonna be some random stuff. Insert into users. Username, email. Oh. And refresh. Now it worked. Now let me replace the line with what I pasted and put that comma. And if I go here, it should work. Yay. So this worked, and I can just comment out this line. Now, I talked about that SQL injection. Now, the simple way to do it, now there's a real simple thing. You just put it as a parameter, this. Just let's put it as a parameter, because and then I'm going to copy and paste the part from the others. So basically, we have to get the string and filter it. So what this function that I'm going to call, and that's going to get us as the parameter, the original string, is basically it's going to return a safe string that's not going to have SQL queries into it. So it's going to be it's my SQL real escape string, and like that. Okay, I'm going to copy this, paste, paste, paste. And now basically our strings will be filtered. Okay. Oh, I know why. They removed it in PHP 7 and changed it to my SQLi escape string. So if I copy this and paste it over this, save, Alt-Tab, and expect exactly 2 parameters. What was the second one? Oh, because you need to use these after the connection, and you have to give as the first parameter the connection. So I have to give as parameter this, but it's not initialized yet. So basically, move this line around here, and then at the end, good thing I moved it, because now I remembered you have to go disconnect of my SQLi, and then the first one would be my SQLi, which I'm gonna copy, paste, paste, paste. Yeah, perfect. Now it told me to choose another username or email. That's perfectly normal for what we have here. But now if I go .com, boom. Now if I refresh, That's perfect. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button. So see you next time on HowToIT.